I'm higher vibrations and so are you. We're back to talking about Ascension Symptoms again. And just so you know, there's several videos that I have done over the past couple of weeks as well. I can't remember how long I've been doing this, but I will link them in the description below. There's been a lot of different things happening to a lot of people, and we're not all going to be experiencing them all in the same time frame, in the same order. And it's helpful to know that what you're experiencing is being felt by others, and also what it is. So please feel free to look through those other videos as well. We're not so much talking about the physical symptoms as much today, but for the physical symptoms, there's the nausea and the ear ringing that have persisted and continued or started over again, really. There's the earaches. That's usually what causes my nausea, is the earache that I started getting again. And separately, this weird sinus pressure that was coming and going for a little bit. Weird sinus pressure. And I heard from many of you throughout the country that you were feeling the same thing simultaneously, which I thought was very fascinating, being that we're so far apart from one another. I've had this kind of like achy, not even really achy exactly, feeling in my liver since February that's come and gone. But it's not just the liver, it's kind of like migrated and moved around my lower abdomen. And it's been fun to hear how many other people are having that same symptom. It's validating, right? Which is why I'm doing this. So, and then the sleep stuff. Just profound exhaustion one moment, and then like this sudden like influx of energy, like invigoration. It's really bizarre too. I don't have a way to describe it. It feels similar, I suppose, to being over caffeinated without all of the nasty side effects of it. Just like, wow, ready to go. One thing you all have discussed is mentioned, it has been the synchronicities. Thank you for your comments. It's fun to have those comments and to interact with you. Those synchronicities of the repeating numbers, it's so, it has been a big deal lately. Like before I would get, a series of the same number once or twice a week, maybe not even that often, to where it's happening several times a day. Every video I'm doing these days, it seems like, or at least almost all of them, are coming up to be a consecutive, or the series of the same number. The other day, that's something else too, is this weird need to clean and to change my environment. It's like to improve it in the space that I'm in. Like, it's not the regular spring cleaning. I already did that. This is more, it feels more like nesting, like when you're a new mom, that just weird need to clean and alter your space and to improve it. And while I was doing that, I just got a bunch of new books that I haven't read a lot of them yet, actually. And I had dropped them, and they all opened up to page 88. All of them. It's like, that's a bunch of eights right there. That's just one weird experience. I typically will see it in like the video times, or the clock, or things like license plates and things like that, and the percentage of my phone, as well as the temperature it is outside coinciding and things like that. But that was interesting. So thank you for those comments. That was really cool. How many of you said that was something that you were really noticing also. I think that's, and then also with sleep, I've been noticing, how we've been spending more time than not in our sleep state working, so it just was 444. And so we are, definitely having some experiences in our sleep state, but something different started to happen for me, where it's pretty predictable now that when I'm done sleeping, I'll first return to my body and observe my body from an objective standpoint, like within my body, but while I'm deeply sleeping. It's really bizarre, like observing my body, and it's really helpful to know from that perspective. I'm able to at least, like, understand what parts of my body need my attention and healing, and it's fascinating in that detached way, still be within myself. It's kind of interesting. Something else, this is it's called light language. I think it's the same thing people used to call speaking in tongues. I used to hear about that, and it was made to be like something bizarre and unpleasant, but it's beautiful. And for me, it seems to come out in singing. However, I'm noticing that that's coming at the same time as I'm noticing these light tracers that we talked about last video, where there's like these like little ripples of light, and I find myself singing in a beautiful language that I don't really know what it means exactly, but I understand that the light language is something that you're able to kind of bypass the red tape of the rational mind that kind of pulls apart messages and things that are needing to be heard and understood, and just goes straight to the soul. It's like a message directly to your soul. It feels so cleansing and so uplifting. And, if it's so awesome, there's no reason to stop any of it, really. But there's no reason to stop it. And I'm doing it a lot. It's cool. And the colors, like, it's been going on for a couple of days, okay? But today, particularly, today is May the 2nd. And holy crap, like, the sky is not the sky that I've been accustomed to seeing. The clouds are not, the grass, the trees, the rocks, everything looks more vibrant and more real, I guess. It's as if this whole time I was looking at the world through a filter, like a new spectrum of light has been welcomed into my eye. It's really cool. Something beautiful happened today, and it's really neat. It's not because it's spring. Like, we're kind of a little bit into spring now, but like, I've been around for a spring or two. That's not what this is. It's really cool. On a recovery note, I've noticed, not just for me, but a lot of goodbyes to past behavior, I'm calling it past because it's just recently become the past, but saying goodbye to behaviors and to relationships and to places that you frequent and things that just don't jive with you anymore. They're no longer in alignment with your frequency. And it's been beautiful to have that. It's not the same time. That's who I've been for so long. Like, a lot of these bad habits of mine I've identified with as myself, that have separated me in some way and made me the rebel that I've always loved to be, right? I mean, I'm that person, like, tell me to wear a mask, I dare you. And, and it's really good to say goodbye to him, but it's saying goodbye to a version of myself that I've been for a long time, perhaps much longer than just this lifetime, as well as saying goodbye to 3D, saying goodbye to the old way of life being. It may have been horrible, it may have been uncomfortable and negative in multiple ways, but it's something that you've experienced for so many lifetimes that of course you're going to struggle with it. Of course it's going to be hard to watch it, you know, disappear in your rearview mirror. And it's okay to mourn it. It's okay to say goodbye. In fact, you should. I find the more that I allow myself the space to say goodbye and to mourn something in a front, full-on way, the easier it is for it to go and for me to move on to my next thing in order to make room for the next thing. Every experience that we're going through right now, I'm trying to replicate that of a child, right? When a kid falls, they cry with their whole heart. They don't try to hold back. And guess what? Then they're done with that. Now they're emptied of that. And they're blank. They can start the next thing, the next experience. Then they're laughing with their whole heart. They don't care what they sound like when they're laughing. They don't. And then they're done with that experience and they can do the next. And I've spent the majority of my life trying to find out what tea tastes like with a cup half full of coffee, you know, and not ever fully emptying my experience out because I'd never fully let myself experience it. So I'm trying to do that now. And as I do, I'm finding that these symptoms are not only alleviating sooner, but the cool stuff's coming faster, you know, and like, it's okay to say goodbye. And that's part of that lesson of the child. Allow yourself to dance. Allow yourself to be in nature as much as possible. If you don't have nature available, please, find something. Go hug a tree. You know, put your feet in some grass if you can find some. You know, play in the water, even if it's just in your sink or in your bathtub. You know, another element that you can commune with is the wind. That was really good advice. Ground yourself as much as possible. Make sure you're drinking all the water you can. We're upgrading. We're upgrading to the light beings that we've always been intended to be. And in order to assist in that, the more water has a way of, what's the right word? That's another point. Words suck right now. Verbal spoken language is so aggravating. Like, I understand what I'm trying to say and understand what some other people are trying to say, but it's difficult. But water helps make the light move through your body with more ease and without so much difficulty, I suppose. And lastly, but not lastly, because there's a lot more to say, listen to your body when it comes to food. You know, there's a lot of things that we need to unlearn about food. For myself, it's gotten to the point where I can now, at this point, after having listened to my body, one little thing at a time, removing certain ingredients here and there, now I can just touch something that I'm planning to eat, and my body will tell me no by, like, it looks like I'm having a minor earthquake behind my eyes, like, no, you know. And also I'll feel a little bit nauseous, and that's my body saying, don't eat that, potato chips aren't good for you, or whatever, you know. And like, and whatever, everybody has their own experience, but at first my body would say no by becoming sick, you know, having to spend more time in the bathroom, you know. And like, just listen to your body. It's telling you. The lighter the food, the better. If you can pull away from the denser, heavier foods, you will really notice a difference. As well as trying to avoid things that have been, if you can, like a lot of us can't, but if you can avoid drinks that are in aluminum cans or metal cans, And even if possible, foods that have been packaged in metal cans, that metal leaches into our food, and it adds a density to our system, the opposite of what the water does for us, right? And makes this ascension experience and process a little bit more difficult. So if you can, that would really help you in this experience. And if there's any other symptoms that you would like to discuss, I have this channel to provide a space for everyone who can, to not have to feel alone, and to know that what you're experiencing is not only valid, but there's so many of us going through it also. You're not alone. And interact with the comments from other people. Allow yourself to be part of this community, and let me know, what other things are you experiencing that you would like to discuss. And also I have my email attached in the description to every one of my videos. Please email me. I will email you back. And if you find this to be helpful in any way, that maybe it can help somebody else, please share it with that person. Hopefully it can help them. And if you can, like and subscribe. I will be producing a few more of these videos, I'm sure, because see, as we're at this point, it seems like there's shorter and shorter steps between the next things, right? It's happening faster and faster, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of new Ascension symptoms this month, but not only that, but Ascension abilities and beautiful things. So thank you for joining me on this journey and making this space for yourself. Where everything starts is love of self. If we can start to work on that, then everything else ends up being so much smoother. I hope you're having a wonderful journey. Aho blessings.